Hey, amazing English learners, and welcome back to English Odyssey. Have you ever poured hours into textbooks, memorized endless vocabulary lists, watched countless movies, and still felt that frustrating gap between what you know and what you can do? You understand English perfectly, but when it's your turn to speak, your mind goes blank, your words get tangled, and that elusive fluency feels impossible to grasp. You're not alone. So many dedicated learners hit this wall. Today, we're diving deep to uncover the real reasons this happens. We'll bust some common myths and reveal the true psychological and strategic barriers holding you back. This is part one of your journey to a fluency breakthrough. Let's get started. Part one: the fluency myths. What you've been told might be wrong and why it holds you back. Before we get to the real problems, let's clear the air. There are so many myths about language learning that can unintentionally create mental blocks and unrealistic expectations. Myth 1: you need to live abroad to be fluent. This is perhaps the biggest and most disheartening myth out there. Yes, immersion in an English-speaking country is incredibly powerful. You're surrounded by the language 24/7, but it is absolutely not the only path to fluency. I've seen countless incredible English speakers who've never stepped foot outside their home country. They achieved fluency by creating their own deep immersion right where they were. They surrounded themselves with English media, found online communities, and actively sought out speaking opportunities. Don't let geography be your excuse or reason to delay your progress. Your fluency journey starts where you are. Myth 2: you need perfect grammar before you speak. This is the perfectionism trap. Many learners believe they must master every single grammar rule before daring to utter a sentence. But think about it. Did you learn your native language by memorizing grammar tables? Of course not. You learned by speaking, making mistakes, and being understood. Over-focusing on grammar can lead to paralysis by analysis. You become so afraid of making an error that you simply don't speak, which is the exact opposite of what you need for fluency. Remember, fluency is about flow and communication, not flawless perfection. Your goal is to be understood, not to be a walking grammar textbook. Myth 3: you have to study for hours every single day. We all have busy lives, and the idea of hours of daily study can feel overwhelming, leading to burnout and giving up. While consistency is absolutely crucial, it's about quality over quantity. 20 focused, active minutes of engaging with English can be far more effective than 2 hours of passive, distracted scrolling. It's about building a sustainable habit, not an unsustainable burden. Myth 4: some people just aren't good at languages. This is a limiting belief that needs to be shattered. You know who says this? People who haven't found the right strategy yet, or who gave up too soon. Learning a language is a skill like playing a musical instrument or learning to code. It takes effort, consistency, and the right approach, but anyone can develop it. If you learned your native language, you have the fundamental capacity to learn English. Don't let this inner critic hold you captive. Part 2: the real underlying reasons why you're feeling stuck. So if those myths aren't the root cause, what is? The real barriers to fluency often lie deeper than textbooks and grammar exercises. They're often psychological, habitual, or strategic. Reason 1: the overwhelming fear of making mistakes, the speaking anxiety trap. This is probably the biggest monster under the bed for many learners. It's not about not knowing the words, it's the sheer terror of sounding silly, being judged, or embarrassing yourself. This fear can be so intense that it literally paralyzes you. You might know the perfect response in your head, but the words get stuck in your throat. This constant self-censorship prevents the very practice you need to become fluent. We often see mistakes as failures, But in language learning, they are essential feedback. They're signs that you're trying, that you're pushing your boundaries, and that your brain is actively learning. If you're not making mistakes, you're probably not speaking enough. Reason 2, lack of consistent active practice, the passive learning pitfall. This is a subtle but powerful barrier. You might spend hours consuming English content, watching movies, listening to podcasts, reading articles. This is fantastic for building your passive knowledge, your understanding. But fluency is primarily an active production skill. You need to use the language. If you're not regularly speaking and writing in English, your brain isn't getting the practice it needs to retrieve words quickly, form sentences naturally, and communicate ideas on the fly. It's like learning about swimming by reading books and watching videos, but never actually getting into the pool. You know a lot about swimming, but you can't do it. Reason 3. Unclear goals and lack of purpose, the aimless wanderer. Why are you learning English? Beyond because it's useful, or everyone else is, do you have a truly compelling personal reason? Without specific, meaningful, and exciting goals, your motivation will inevitably fizzle out during challenging periods. If your learning is aimless, you'll feel lost, easily distracted, and demotivated. You might jump from one resource to another, never really settling on a path. A strong why acts as your compass and your fuel, guiding you through the inevitable difficulties. Reason 4. Negative self-talk and limiting beliefs, the inner critic. This is the insidious voice inside your head telling you things like, "I'm not talented enough for languages, my accent is terrible, I'll never sound like a native," or "it's too late for me to learn." These thoughts aren't just annoying, they are self-fulfilling prophecies. Your beliefs shape your actions. If you believe you can't, you probably won't put in the sustained effort needed. This inner critic can undermine all your efforts, making you blind to your progress and magnifying every small setback. Reason 5. Ineffective learning strategies, the wrong tools for the job. Sometimes the problem isn't a lack of effort, but simply using methods that aren't optimized for achieving fluency. Relying solely on memorizing long vocabulary lists without context, or just doing grammar exercises without applying them in real communication, won't lead to natural, spontaneous speech. If your strategies aren't aligned with your goal of fluency, you'll feel like you're spinning your wheels, working hard but seeing little progress. You need tools and methods that actively push you to use the language in meaningful ways. Conclusion and tease. For part 2, so as you can see, the path to fluency isn't just about how many words you know or grammar rules you've memorized. It's often about the internal battles we fight, the fear, the lack of active engagement, the fuzzy goals, and the negative voices in our heads. These are the real barriers that keep so many talented learners stuck. But here's the powerful truth. Once you identify these barriers, you gain the power to dismantle them. This isn't just about pointing out problems, it's about setting the stage for solutions. In part 2 of this series, we're going to dive into the Motivational Awakening, providing you with concrete, actionable strategies to overcome each of these barriers. We'll give you the tools to conquer your fears, activate your passive knowledge, set powerful goals, silence your inner critic, and adopt the most effective learning methods. Don't let these common traps hold you back any longer. What's the one barrier you identified in this video that resonates most with you right now? Let me know in the comments below. If this video sheds some light on your English journey, please give it a like and share it with a fellow English learner. And make sure you're subscribed to English Odyssey and have those notifications on so you don't miss part 2, where we'll turn these insights into action. Your fluency breakthrough is closer than you think.